Just a couple of guys, a couple microphones, and a heck of a lot of know. It's Football on the Know with Jim and Joe.
What they say, it's not the X's and the O's, it's the Jimmies and the Joes.
All right. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another special edition of Football on the Know. I am Jim McPhee, and out there remotely is Joe DeCapita.
Yeah, what's going on? Listen, we like to call our fans know-it-alls. So welcome new know-it-alls to this show. This is going to be new for us. We're going to do this Sunday mornings. Kick off your Sundays. Check out all the games. We'll talk about it a little bit. We'll give our game picks and what have you, and we'll just keep this thing rolling.
Yeah, absolutely. Support to AFU, the football universe out there. And Paul Matty, shout out to him, who this was his idea to get it started. And we'll see how it goes here with everything. But what we're going to do is we're going to go through all the games and we'll just do some keys to the game. And you guys light up the comments. Let us know what you think out there. First off, what game are you guys most excited to watch too out there? Let us know in the comments. Drop a comment and we'll be sure to let it out here on the air. All right, so first game, we've got the Commanders at the Falcons. Joe, Falcons are kind of the up and down team, trying to get things started, figuring out if Desmond Ritter's the guy or not. He's had a lot of turnovers lately. What's the key to the game against this matchup against the Washington Commanders, who have a pretty good defense here, but on the other side as well, we got Sam Howell here trying to figure things out, and Ron Rivera to where he's trying to keep his job, I think, at this point.
Yeah, I mean, really what it comes down to is the lines. It's O-line versus D-line. That's usually what a lot of the games come out to be, but this one especially, because you have, on one hand, you have Washington's D-line, which on paper looks like a Pro Bowl line. Like, they have their D tackles, they have their D ends, they can get after you if they need to. But we haven't seen that defense get back to the way it was about 3 years ago, where they were like one of the top 10s. And now you go on the other side with the Falcons, and you look at the O-line. They finally got everybody healthy. They're finally back. Caleb McGarry, I believe, is going to play in this game. And it's like, you want to see progression. You want to see them get better as a team, as an offense for the Atlanta Falcons. So for them, it's going to be about pass protection. It's going to be about creating rushing lanes for Bijan Robinson and Cordell Patterson and Tyler Algier, for all those guys. So I'm hoping to see from Atlanta a little bit more creativeness on the offensive side. And I want to see on Washington side, I want to see that defense get back to the way it used to be. So in this game, I'm going to lean towards Atlanta in this game. I think that Atlanta they have a lot of pieces that they can utilize. I feel like the only thing that's going to possibly hold them back is maybe Desmond Ridder. Because of, like you mentioned, the turnovers. And then on the other side, Washington, they're up and down this year. So I want to see more consistency.
Absolutely. We got Paul Matty's in the house with us tonight. He says, or today, actually, now someone used to saying tonight, it's actually during the day now. It's Sunday morning. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I can't, but I actually wore pants today, though. I'm excited. So he says, what's up from Linda Beach, Florida? Here we go. We've got another comment. Lamar Jackson started the game 7 for 7 with 7 different receivers in London. How about that? 7-7-7s. Hey, that's good luck, though. It's not any 666 and things like that. So we're good with the 7-7-7, but who knows?
Yeah, right. And to Lamar's credit, finally we're seeing him being, more consistent as a quarterback. 7-7, like that's something that the Baltimore Ravens have been waiting to see. So now that they've been able to see it, they can kind of build off of that.
Absolutely. So I think I'm with you here. Also with Atlanta, like I said, if you look at the two defenses, they're ranked 17th and 18th, so they're neck and neck there. But the Washington pass rush is better than what has happened lately with the Falcons. Falcons look pretty healthy right now too, on both sides of the ball too. So that's going to be good for them, especially having Calais Campbell and things like that. But key to the game for them is to run the football as well. All right, next we've got the Vikings and the Bears. Joe, what do you got for the key to matchup for this one with the Bears being at home?
Vikings and Bears, oh my. Kirk Cousins, who you throwing to? Jordan Addison looks like going to be the leading target because there's no Justin Jefferson for the next 4 weeks. So that's going to be a huge hurdle for the Vikings. I feel like that's going to be the true challenge for Minnesota is getting points on the board, finding different ways other than being bailed out by Justin Jefferson because he's such a great receiver that now you're going to have to utilize and try to create running opportunities and better running opportunities. And then in hand, that's going to open up your passing game. So look for Jordan Addison to get plenty of looks, to get plenty of attention there. Maybe KJ Osborne is obviously going to be implemented in the offense a little bit more, going to have more attention. And then for the Bears, this is one of those teams we talk about inconsistency. We saw 1 week where Justin Fields literally took over the game, like ran the ball, threw the ball everywhere. DJ Moore had a huge day. And it's like, that's the Chicago Bears that we were hoping to see this year. We have only seen it once. Let's see it again. So in this matchup, I got to lean towards the Bears because, one, they're at home. They usually play pretty well at home. And two, they're coming off some success there in the offense finally. So maybe they can build off of that, and they're also getting healthier on the defense.
I'm looking at the Bears again. The injury list is huge. Some are playing, but again, Eddie Jackson's still out. A few others, and 2 of their 3 running backs are done too. And their key to the game is always run the ball. They're 9th ranked in the offense here in running. But the good key for them though is again, you talk about the Vikings defense 28th against the rush. So that's going to be the key for them is still trying to run the ball, but with who at this point? You know what I mean? And they have surprised us. Some of the injuries that they have been able to pull out some of these victories here, and they do play tougher at home. But I got a feeling again, if I thought something different about the Vikings this season than some others too as well. They thought they were going to take a step back, but I thought they were still going to be able to make that push here with Kirk Cousins. They've had bad luck and been on the losing side of things this season due to a few different drops by TJ Hawkinson. Feels like I guess he just forgot how to catch lately. On tip balls that turned into interceptions for Kirk Cousins. But I think this is one of those games that these guys really have to pull out a victory. So I'm with the Vikings on this one. All right. We got some chats too in the comments here. It says Bears get lucky. Oh, so there you go. So they're thinking that the Bears maybe can pull this one off here at home. Who knows? Maybe it comes up to another tip ball into an interception here, and then they think. All right, next we got the Seattle Seahawks and the Cincinnati Bengals. This one's really intriguing just because to me, the way the Bengals now have really played this year. There's been really up and down, really lethargic offense. Can't seem to get it going. Can't seem to protect Joe Burrow. And even so, he's made a few mistakes. I know week 1, I thought maybe it was just possibly because still hurting from his injury and it was rainy, sloppy. But the last couple of weeks, it's been a little rough too as well. Last week was the first time he actually looked all right, but still getting pressured a lot and still not really running the ball effectively like I really would like them to do with.
Yeah, no, and that's the thing too, is like Joe Mixon, they got to get that guy the rock. They got to be able to run the ball, open up this offense that way, get defenses to be worried about the run for once. And that way you can attack people over the top with, Jamar Chase and company. But that's kind of the thing that's been missing with the Bengals. We've known a lot of inconsistency. This is not the typical Bengal offense that we're used to as of last season. And we're expecting Burrow to be much better. I really think that Joe Burrow is still hampered by that calf injury, and it shows because you notice some throws are not as precise as he normally would make. So I think for obviously the key for the Bengals in this game is protection. They have to be able to pass protect. They have to be able to establish the run early on, and then that'll carry them throughout the game. They'll be able to put points on the board that way. Bengals defense, not worried about them. They're usually pretty solid, and that's what's been helping them stay in a lot of these games. For the Seattle Seahawks, they're coming off a bye week. They're coming off something where for the first time this year, we saw Jamal Adams on the field, and we saw the rookie sensation, Witherspoon. They are together now, and that defense looks stunning, like absolutely amazing on the field. They're all flying all over the field, sideline to sideline, and there's a lot of excitement there in Seattle right now. And Geno Smith and company on offense are getting back on track and putting points on the board. So this is going to be a very, very tough matchup. And normally I usually lean in these close matchups. I lean to the home team, but I'm actually going to go with Seattle, visiting Cincinnati, taking that momentum that they've managed to gain up and a lot healthier than before. And I have them coming away with the win.
All right, yeah, again, both have struggled. They're really close in rankings here, 29th and 28th here in offense, total offense. But that defense, the Seattle defense, ranked 8th in the NFL right now, and they've been a pleasant surprise. And what's funny is Seattle's kind of been that type of team. Every season, there's something else that surprises me when I think they're going to take a step back. And they're applying pressure here on defense and allows for the offense to get going with Geno Smith, who at first, again, coming off of that surprise season last year, and being that, a good player for them, stepping in at the quarterback position. But this year taking a little step back. He's a little banged up now. I think the key for the Cincinnati Bengals here is just got to air it out, get it out to your receivers and things like that, but stay balanced as well. Get Joe Burrow and Joe Mixon, get it going here, because Seattle, that's where they're struggling though on the defensive side of the ball though too, is trying to push the run a little bit, and then they're 29th against the pass. So try and get those deep routes, get Jamar Chase, just feed him nonstop and get it going. I think I like the Cincinnati Bengals in this one against Seattle. If it was in Seattle though, I might lean the other way, but it's not. It's in the jungle, and they like it there. They get that hooday going all the day. So I like the Cincinnati Bengals in this one.
Yeah.
All right, next we got the 49ers and the Cleveland Browns. This one, again, I think would have been a nice matchup if Deshaun Watson was healthy, because you look at the two defenses, the way they play, and how the pressure that they put on, and just the team that they have. And then Deshaun Watson seemed like he was just starting to turn around here, but with the injury now you've got Dorian Thompson-Robinson here going to be playing for them. No Nick Chubb, things like that. So it's not the matchup that I think they're hoping for at the beginning of the season. And unfortunately for the Cincinnati, or for the Cleveland Browns, even though they're going to be at home, they do get David Njoku back, which is nice for them. It's going to be tough because this 49ers defense and this team all together, you saw what they did to Dallas, whom a lot of people thought was a playoff contender, just dismantled them. So what do you think about this?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is they're a juggernaut. Like the 49ers are one of the more complete teams in the NFL, and they just have athletes and they have talent everywhere on both sides of the ball. Like there's not a whole lot of weaknesses with that team. Like there might be a few pinpoints where you could be like, oh, we can attack this, we can attack that. But overall, that team is just super solid. So they are going to be a very, very tough team to contend with, no matter who it is. And for the Browns, like not having Watson is like the biggest key. Like when you don't have your starter, like you're already at a disadvantage already, and a huge one at that. So for Cleveland, they might be able to hang around early, like defensively, like their defense will be able to, I feel like, slow down a little bit of this Niners offense early on, but it's not going to last very long. As soon as they get into the groove, it's going to be a washout. I don't think that Cleveland's offense, with whoever they're going to have at quarterback, is going to be able to they're going to have an extremely hard time to put points on the board, bottom line. And then for the Niners, I mean, it's pretty much, just mail it in. Like the Niners are going to win.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, if you look at it too, again, the Cleveland defense, number one, but their offense and the passing game is last.
Yeah.
So there you go. So that's going to show you. It's going to be another rolling. Next, we had somebody say also Bengals win. So there we go. We got the picks going in there. Let us know in the comments what you guys' picks are. Absolutely. Let us know what you think of the breakdown of the games too, as well. We love the insight. We love the comments. We love the interaction with everybody. So please feel free to comment.
Absolutely. And not only just comment, but also if you're new to us, even, we are Football on the Know show. If you like talking football, listen, we do it every Wednesday night, 8:30 p.m. We'll be there. We're here to, swap opinions, let us know our game picks. We'll talk about different things that are happening in the NFL week to week. And do us a huge favor. Head over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button for us, hit the notification bell, let you guys know when we go live. And also, you can follow us anywhere you get your podcasts.
Absolutely. There you go. There's the QR code. So definitely check it out. We really appreciate all the support. All right. Next, we've got the Saints and the Texans here, Joe. The Texans, again, not rolling over and dying. They're putting up a real big push here this year. And it looks like out of the quarterbacks that got selected, last year, it looks like CJ Stroud is the winner out of them all here, looking like the best bet for everybody. And the Texans really moving forward here. And so now that makes this game a little more intriguing to me, just because the Saints offense, despite some of the weapons that they have here too, they've kind of been sluggish at times, not all together, but, just letting other teams hang in there enough that, they've been closer and leaning on their defense a little too much. Texas at home, they play a lot better at home too as well. So what's your key to this matchup? And what do you think about this one?
I mean, this one, like, let's just say, like, CJ Stroud, like, in our draft special, we had Stroud as the number one quarterback coming out anyway. So this just works well for us in our arguments. And he's absolutely, a pretty amazing quarterback, especially for a rookie, to have as much success as he's had thus far in the season. I mean, he doesn't turn the ball over. He's super smart with the football. And I feel like that's what's helping the Texans win more games than we thought they would. So for Stroud and the offense for the Texans, keep doing what you're doing. Run with Dameon Pierce. Get the ball out to Nico Collins. Like, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep the offense balanced and just, continue your success. Defensively for the Texans, they got to step up a little bit more. Yes, they've had a couple of injuries here and there, but they're not keeping up with the same, level of opportunities and level of execution as the offense. So if they can kind of get that changed up, it'll make this team a lot harder to beat. So for the Saints coming in, this is another Saints team that we thought was going to have, up to this point, one of the most explosive offenses in the NFL. And so far, we haven't seen that. They did recently get back Alvin Kamara, so there's a little bit of juice there that they're able to utilize him and his skill set. For Derek Carr in this offense, I feel like the biggest thing for them is play calling is not always good. It's that simple. Like the play calling is a little iffy at times. And I feel like that's what's really making this offense struggle, besides the fact that their O-line hasn't been up to par at all. Thought they were one of the best offensive lines coming into the season, and now they're struggling still. So for the Saints, it's going to be keep playing their defense. They're very stellar at defense. They're super solid. They rush the passer extremely well. They play the pass well. And then offensively, they got to start putting more points on the boards. Help out this defense of theirs. So for this game in Houston, it's going to be intriguing. This is going to be the litmus test for the Houston Texans. How good are they? Let's see if they can compete with New Orleans. Even though New Orleans isn't, running at their top level like they normally are, it's still kind of like a nice key to see where Houston sits. So I feel like this game is going to be close, maybe closer than people think. I feel like this game is going to be, right down to the end. I got New Orleans pulling it out in the end, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to go with New Orleans too as well. But again, this is that litmus test, like you said, to see how good the Texans really can be and how good they are. Key for them is to keep passing it and get it going here too. And the key for New Orleans, I think, for them, Alvin Kamara, and try and get that running game going to get the play action pass open to then get some of these wide receivers open and increase the percentage for passing and getting in the red zone.
Right.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. So there we go. So next we've got the took the Colts and the Jaguars. Jaguars are at home, and actually their real home this time, not in London. So will they be able to keep the winning streak going now they're not in London? Colts, they're kind of funny team too. I thought they were really going to be, not have even win and still been able to shout some good games. Whether Richardson's in there or not, Minshew comes in and he helps elevate that team as well. So it's not almost like, you're hearing about Richardson being out for some time, being on the IR. I still don't think there's a big drop off or a change of what's going on at the quarterback position to where I'm even that they could lose this game as well.
Yeah, I mean, so for the Jaguars, this is interesting, right? So like London, I believe they were like 2-0 this year in London.
Yes.
So does that mean that in London, that's just the record in London, and now it gets reset because now they're back in the States? That's a curious question. Can they continue that success for the Jaguars? But this is another team, like this year, we expected to have such high hopes for, to be able to almost basically run away with this division. And we're not seeing that right now. Like we've seen early on, this offense struggle. The defense not being able to stop anybody at times. And I want to see this team continue their success, get back into their winning ways, get back into the competition of trying to win this division. And we have to see more consistency from Trevor Lawrence in this offense. We need to see more consistency and better playmaking on the defensive side as well. For the Colts, this is a team where we didn't really have high expectations for because of drafting Anthony Richardson as early as they did, 5th overall. And then let's see what he can do. We all know typically rookies struggle in their first year at quarterback. And for the Colts, they have a decent defense, but their offense hasn't been able to put up points that well. And now as the weeks have gone by, Richardson, when he was at the helm before his recent injury, was actually kind of getting it. But they had some creative plays, or he just made plays happen with his feet, and it kind of made defenses on edge. Now let's see what the Colts can do with Gardner Minshew. Gardner Minshew now coming in to replace him. Very solid quarterback. He's been a veteran. He's been around for years. He knows what he's doing. Now, before the season started, we viewed him as possibly just starting the season, but then they're like, oh, let's give the keys to Richardson and see where he can drive us. Minshew, when he's in the offense, he looks way better. This offense looks way more fluid, and it works very well with him there. So I feel like that's going to give the Colts a chance to win this game and pull it off. This could go either way, but again, Jaguars coming off 2 big wins, coming back home, they got to feel good. I'm going to go with the home team here, though, and go with the Jags.
All right, here again. Vegas has the Jags 66% over 34%. Jacksonville, again, it started off slow. And you had those things that you think, you saw what they were last year, coming off that playoff, run, see how they could do this year. A little slow, but again, maybe that London was that reset and get that confidence going here, come back to the States and make another push here and become that team that you were here last year. You saw last year, right. Slow start too, and then they finally developed to what they were. Maybe there's one of those slow starting teams that can get it going. One of the Facebook users here, unfortunately, again, some of the reason they're not showing names out there, so let us know your name out there too, at least here until we can get this going here. It's not just Facebook user, but it says Jaguars all day. Lawrence has a big day at home. I'm going to be in agreement here with you too as well. Colts, like I said, there's not a big drop off, I think, from the quarterback position here and stuff, but again, they are who I think they are too. Not really a playoff contender right here. Jacksonville know that they are still a playoff contender, what they were last year. They need to pull off a win here at home in Jacksonville. All right, next we've got the New Orleans. I already did that one. New Orleans Saints and the Colts. All right, we got the Panthers and the Dolphins. Joe, Panthers. Who knows? Is that going to be the team that's going to be the number 1 pick overall at this point right now, that we can look at it here and just say, hey, there's a struggling right now. Bryce Young doesn't look good. Nothing really looks good. I mean, we already knew they didn't have crazy talent at wide receiver because they traded away DJ Moore, and now you get Adam Thielen to fill in the gap, who he dropped down the depth chart with Minnesota and stuff. So he's not going to be, if he's your number 1, you're in a rebuild at this point.
Yeah, I mean, with the Panthers, listen, we knew what this team was coming into the season. Drafting a quarterback, have a lot of young faces on offense. And obviously, you mentioned Adam Thielen as being that veteran presence there, but they have a young defense. They're growing. They lost a couple of pieces, throughout the season. So we knew that they were going to struggle a little bit. I don't know how bad they're going to get going forward, but yeah, right now there's a jumble up top for who's going to get the number 1 overall pick. There's several teams still in that race, so we got to wait to see later in the year how that unfolds. But Dolphins, I think they're the number 1 offense. Like, they are absolutely killing it this year, and it's not surprising. You look at last season with Tua when he was healthy, and they were killing it then. They added more weapons this year. They upgraded their O-line further. They have a young rookie sensation in Devon Achane, who unfortunately is now going to be out for 4 weeks with an injury. But again, it's just they're adding more and more pieces. And then you couple that with the defensive side and how solid they are there. Like, this team is really good. Like, yeah, they might have been, beat up by the Bills when they went to Buffalo that 1 week, but I feel like they're going to get back on track. They're going to continue their success on offense, and this is going to be a game that kind of gets out of the way early, out of reach for Carolina. So I'm going to go with the Dolphins here. It's pretty straightforward and easy to pick this one.
Yeah, I mean, again, like you said, the team is struggling right now for the Panthers. Last in almost everything here, and then you're going against the number one team in offense altogether here. So defense, on the lower part of the side, but it's not going to matter in this one. They're just going to outscore them. So it's going to be a tough day for the Panthers. I like the Dolphins as well. So is one of our other commenters out there. It's pretty much a slam dunk here. Now, if the Panthers pull this one out, I mean that's going to be highlight or headline of the week probably. All right, next we've got the Patriots and the Raiders here. This is the Patriot game here. If you want to talk Patriot games, this is the Patriot game where another former coach of the Patriots gets the face off against Bill Belichick. And what an opportune time even right now for Josh McDaniels to face the Patriots at a time where it seems like they're at their lowest, where Bill Belichick has been his absolute honest guy and just been like, if there's going to be rebuild, we're going to tear it all down. We're going to do this, we're going to, we suck, but it's still that thing looms to where these former coaches that leave the Patriot way and to try and make it on their own, very few have really made it on their own as a head coach. I'd say Mike Vrabel is probably like the only one at this point, especially
absolutely.
And there's been others that failed, and just there's things that are still out for him to see it what it is. But Josh McDaniels, we already know with the Raiders here, fans were against them. The teammates, the players, seems like they're against them even too at times. They have been competitive in some games here, and I think they do play better at home, which there will be some of that happening here with this game. But Bill Belichick takes your key thing away from you, and what's been the only shining spot I think for the Raiders at this point, it's not Jimmy G, it's not Devontae Adams even this point, it's been Max Crosby. So if they're going to try and double team Max Crosby or keep him out of the backfield and give Mac Jones some time to do those quick passes, get it going. But I think the key for the Patriots to be successful in this is to run the football. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, I mean, so for the Raiders, let's just say what it is. Let's call the elephant in the room right now. Josh McDaniels is officially on the hot seat. He's been struggling for a couple of years now. He's got all of his so-called guys. He got rid of the franchise quarterback in Derek Carr, got rid of the Pro Bowler and Darren Waller at tight end, and now it sounds like in Las Vegas they're saying that Hunter Renfrow might be on the trade block. So if you're going to make all these kind of crazy changes and you don't have anything to upgrade this team, when you spend over $100 million on offense in the offseason and nothing really on the defense, there's an issue there, and you're still continuing to struggle. Their biggest problem has been defense this whole time, and you don't address that. So for the Raiders coming into this week against a very well-coached team, now despite the naysayers on Bill Belichick, whether he should be fired or maybe he should move on and get retired. Come on. The guy is one of the best coaches in history, honestly. And if you want to go back and say, oh, well, when Tom Brady was there, they were stellar. You're right, because that offense, it wasn't Josh McDaniels. It was Tom Brady audibling all the plays that Josh McDaniels would call. So that's why that offense was so successful then. It wasn't McDaniels. So now McDaniels comes into this role, and what is happening here? This team is struggling big time. And like you mentioned it, Jim, obviously Bill Belichick has plans to try to slow down or even flat out take out Max Crosby, Mad Max himself. Mm-hmm. And then on top of that, Belichick knows Josh McDaniels. Belichick knows how he calls plays, what his favorite things to do are. So I think this is just basically the difference in this game is simple. Coaching. Coaching is going to be the difference. Exactly. That goes to Bill Belichick. And even though the Patriots offense has been struggling as of late, I feel like they get on track against this terrible defense the Raiders have, and they're going to do what you just said. They're going to run the ball more. They're going to get more success with that. And then in turn, the passing plays will open up for them. So I feel like with Bill Belichick there and with the Patriots and Josh McDaniels and the Raiders, it's not even close. The Patriots are going to win this one.
All right, we got a couple comments out there that say, great show, guys. Thank you. We definitely appreciate it. Appreciate the support. Mike Tackett's in the house with us tonight, too. All right, it's nice. I can't help it. It's a verbal crutch. Because even his comment even says it. He's like, football no on a Sunday? Where am I? I don't know where I am even right now, Mike. I've got my raised energy. I'm trying to get it going here. And
Right.
usually I'm
Right.
watching football today and watching all this stuff in my pajamas, underwear or whatever, hanging out here with a blanket, chilling out, just doing this. And I got dressed for this, even at least, I mean, I didn't shave, but whatever. We're here. It is a Sunday morning.
Yes.
And we're doing a show. So we're trying to do this every week here for a football universe. Our friend Paul Matty here absolutely helped get this thing together. So we're going to rock this thing out and everybody join in as we go. I know it's fresh. It's new. We're starting this out, but hey, come bring it all in. If you missed this week, that's right. Watch it later. Then we'll convene next week. But nice to see you here, Mike Tackett, in the house with us tonight. Next up, we've got the Lions and the Bucks. But Joe, even on that last game, like I said, it's about coaching. Bill Belichick is going to outcoach Josh McDaniels all day long. The DraftKings has your Raiders winning 22-20, but we'll see. I think that's dangling the low end.
Exactly.
Let's see what you're like, I'll take that. All right, well, we'll see. All right, next up we got Lions and Bucks. We've got first a comment here. Mike Tackett says, rumor has it John Gruden could be joining Pittsburgh as the offensive coordinator. How excited to see Spider White 2 banana or 2 wide banana in the AFC North, Joe.
Yeah, you're right. And that is the rumor. But we'll see if it actually happens, because Gruden's not going to be coaching in the NFL anytime soon until this court case is done with. If Gruden, I will say this, it looks like it's trending towards this direction, but if Gruden is able to win that case, that is going to automatically put him back in the running to be a coach again in the NFL. I don't know what's going to happen to Goodell. There's a possibility he might lose his job then. And Gruden will be back in the NFL. We know that he has a passion for coaching. He would love to get back into it. Where does that take him? We'll have to wait and see. But that's the rumor right now, is maybe Pittsburgh is an option. I think any team is an option that's looking for an offensive mind like his. So we'll wait and see how that transpires.
Yeah, and that's a good way to jump back into it as well. And like you said, the key is the court case, because again, we've heard that he's going right after the NFL. NFL wants to suspend everything with this case right now. So the key is the outcome. What happens with that? Because again, right now he's suspended and can't coach right now. So if he's allowed to even come back and play or be a coach, offense coordinator, I think it's a nice spot for him to slide back into. And I tell you what, if he becomes the offensive coordinator of any one of these teams, that head coach has got to be like, oh man, this guy's right behind me, so I better do well, because here we go. You know what I'm saying? But if it's Pittsburgh, maybe it's Mike Tomlin. Then again, it's run out for them, because we look at the consistency between their head coaches. They haven't had that many passing through there. Mike Tomlin's only one of what 5, I think, or something. If Gruden comes in and moves in right after him, I mean, it's a nice transition from what he's.
But the other funny part of all this is, how hilarious would it be is if Gruden wins this case, gets his choice to coach anywhere, and with Josh McDaniels struggling, if he gets fired and Mark Davis said, hey, I'll rehire you back, and then he ends up being back with the Raiders again, that would just be freaking hilarious if that ever happened. That's another thing. Anything could happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We got the Lions and Buccaneers coming up too, Joe, as well. We got another comment here first. Let's go to the comments. The guy emailed a pair of nude tits, so I'll give the guy a break. LOL. So there you go. Oh man, yeah, right. Yeah, sometimes you got to give some guys some breaks like that. You know what I'm saying? He said he had dirt on a lot of other coaches and people in the NFL though too as well. So let's see what happened with that whole deal. Right? Lions at Bucks. Joe, Lions. This can be a tough game for them. Again, Tampa Bay has a lot of personnel, really good players here. They're going to be playing at home. Baker Mayfield's been a nice fit for them as well. But that Lions defense for me is the key to this game. They're going to make things tough for Baker Mayfield. And I think when he gets pressured, he's going to make a lot of those mistakes. I like the Lions in this one, but it's going to be a nice matchup. I'm excited to watch this game.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, the Lions, we've seen their D-line and how great high level of play that they're playing at. But honestly, I look towards the Lions offense. I want to see this offense be able to go against this defense and put points on the board. I think that right there is going to be the big indicator on how this game goes. Jared Goff and company, look for them to put points on the board. Look for them to kind of maybe even stretch the lead as it goes on. I got the Lions in this one going into Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield still feel like he's going to be able to put up points against this defense, even though as good as it is. But all in all, it's going to be a fun game to watch.
All right, we got a Facebook user says Mayfield pulls off the win. We'll see. I'm excited to watch this game.
Here we go.
And this another comment says Tomlin has 3 playoff wins in 12 years.
Right.
And this comes down to one of the things that Joe and I had always talked about.
Mm-hmm.
We've been around now for this our 6th season now, Joe. When Marvin Lewis, it was like it's like the Marvin Lewis effect almost. Marvin Lewis, who actually is a former assistant coach with the Pittsburgh Steelers as well too. But I think the Bengals were happy with the consistency that he was making the playoffs every year, not getting a win ever, but they were consistently winning or doing their thing. And that was fine for them until it wasn't fine, and then he finally lost his job. We were always saying, hey, when is this guy finally going to be fired? Because they've had a lot of great teams and they couldn't get anything done and never got it done. Mike Tomlin, yes, consistently or playing well, taking the division or whatnot, but now only 3 wins in 12 years. When's the time to say, hey, man, now it's time to move on? We've had plenty of good teams, and you haven't been able to get there with these teams.
Yeah, it's funny how this got brought up, and that little stat there, 3 playoff wins in 12 years. This is something like you can call me a hater if you want to or whatever. I just don't see Mike Tomlin's importance as a coach other than being a player's coach. Like that, he just gets the guys going. All the guys are willing to run through a brick wall for him, and that is a big deal. Don't get me wrong, but I don't view Mike Tomlin as a X's and O's type of coach, a guy that's really teaching the game or making adjustments. He's a good game manager as a head coach and a guy that gets the players going. But other than that, that's all I see him as. So Mike Tomlin, in Pittsburgh's eyes, they're like, oh, well, he's one of the greatest coaches. But a lot of people outside looking in, they're thinking differently. I think it might be time, if they continue to struggle, to maybe even entertain that idea of maybe finding a new coach.
Mm-hmm. All right, next we've got the Eagles and the Jets. This is going to be a defensive side game here, defensive decided game. I think Eagles are going to end up winning this one here, but this is going to be tough for that offense again. The offense has not been the same self, I guess, that we're kind of used to see with the weapons that they have. But the defense still has been stellar. Jets defense is still great, and it all depends on what kind of guy we're going to see out of Zach Wilson here and what we're going to see. I think they should run the ball heavily, best that they can, against this defense, but that's got to be the key, is get the run game going for them, and then get Zach Wilson on some bootlegs. I think he works better into space and can get the ball out better that way. It's just if his receivers sometimes help him out here. A few drop balls in the past have had them lose, I think against even the Chiefs at that one game, but they've been in it. They've been in some tight games. This one, I think, is going to be closer than expected, but eventually I think the Eagles are going to pull out the win with a few extra scores.
Yeah, my big point in this game is going to be the lines. It's simple. Like, Jets D-line is very good. The Eagles offensive line, one of the best. That's going to be a big battle in the trenches for sure. One negative note for the Jets, though, is there is no Sauce Gardner today. He's going to be out. So lick your chops, Eagles. Like, this could be the time and point where, if they're able to pass protect, if they're able to create rushing lanes against this Jets D line, as stout as they are, I think this is where the Eagles can really get back on track in terms of their offense and their production, be able to put up points on the board. Again, I would give them a much better chance if Sauce Gardner was there, if the Jets were healthier up on the offensive line. But man, this is going to be a long day for them. Zach Wilson, I feel like now, last week, probably the last couple of weeks, you saw the offense change a little bit for him. Just like you mentioned, Jim, bootlegs, being able to run the ball. They're utilizing that now, and that's actually leading to some success for Zach Wilson as of late. But not that much today. I don't expect that much, success today. So I'm going to go with the Eagles. They have just too much weaponry, and they're also getting healthier too. Getting a couple players back from injury. So yeah, all day long it's going to be Philly.
All right. The guy who's been messaging us is Paul Matty himself too, as well. So there we go. I wasn't sure. I thought so, but I know next time when we do the stream here, I know there's a link I could post in the comments. So then you guys click the link and then you can let your face, your identity be known and your name and all that stuff. For some reason, they don't let you do that. Maybe it's a privacy thing or something.
Not willingly.
We want to call you by name and we want to invite you into this as our friend. We've made friends here. So now we know Paul Matty and Mike, Tackett and stuff like that. So we love to see you guys out there. And then a funny little face too, whatever your Facebook profile is. We love it. Yeah, I know it's gonna be I hope it's tight there in the trenches in the defensive game here for them, but I'm excited to watch either way. Next up, we've got the Cardinals and the Rams here, Joe. Cardinals have been really pushing and again staying in some of these games until it's like they stick in it and then eventually they just tail off. They're tired from putting all their effort out there and just too many turnovers. And you got to expect what you can. You got Josh Dobbs back there in the backfield. What are you going to do? We're expected to do well here, but they play tough. They play tougher than my team. So I really, I'm surprised and excited for the Cardinals, what they do. With the Rams on the other side for me too, I thought, since, they went all in on the Super Bowl here, they got their Super Bowl. Now they're kind of paying for it a little bit with not getting those picks and stuff, but they're kind of a pleasant surprise for me even too, because what they've been able to do with the few picks that they had and stuff, and Puka Nacua there, and now you got Cooper Kupp back in the game here, despite not having that solid running game, still kind of being competitive here. And Aaron Donald seems like he's doing everything single-handedly on that defense.
I mean, one thing for the Rams defense though is like you got to appreciate the front office staff for the Rams right now, because despite not having draft picks, despite just kind of going, like you said, pushing the chips in the center of the table and saying we're going all in for the championship, and they did that. We thought they'd take a bigger drop off than what they have, and kudos to the front office staff, because not only did they draft with limited picks well, they also added free agents, and it's kind of made it balanced off to the point where like there's some emerging young players on the Rams defense that we didn't know about until now. And now they're playing really well. So you couple that now with this Rams offense, hey, the Rams are not out of the realm of possibility of winning this division now. I mean, they get their offense going now with Cooper Kupp, like you mentioned, the emergence of rookie sensation, Puka Nacua and company, like, Tyler Higbee and everybody. I mean, if they can stay healthy now, that's going to be obviously a big deal. It's going to be something special as a Rams fan to watch. So this is a good matchup, I feel like, for them too. I wouldn't necessarily think that the Rams are going to romp the Cardinals, because Cardinals, they've been playing way better than we expected. I mean, let's think about it. Geno Smith, a few years ago, where we said, well, he's going to start for the Seattle Seahawks. This is over. Geno's not going to be able to do much. He throws interceptions. He had a amazing season. Now here comes Josh Dobbs, a career backup, and we're like, it's Josh Dobbs. He's probably going to struggle, throw and turn the ball over. And Dobbs is playing at a high level for the Cardinals. And actually, you can make the case in the argument that Dobbs is playing better than Kyler Murray in this offense. Mm-hmm. So with less weapons at his disposal. So you have another guy by Michael Wilson, as a rookie in the Cardinals offense that's starting to emerge. So there's some positives to this Cardinals team, and they're playing even better on defense as well, even though they got rid of guys like Isaiah Simmons. You know what I mean? So Cardinals, I feel like they're going to compete with the Rams here in this game. Now, I'm not saying that they're going to win, but I feel like they're going to keep it close. So even though that's going to happen, I still got to go with the Rams and how well they've been able to play so far.
Yeah, absolutely too. I'm going to agree with you too as well, again, because defense has made some good plays here for the Cardinals at times, and they are a bit of a surprise, especially even on offense, but their key is always just James Conner. I think if James Conner goes down and they cannot run the ball, then they're a sitting duck. They're done.
Conner's out, actually.
There you go.
He's not going to play.
So I think they're going to struggle heavily today then. So I like the Rams in this one, 6th ranked offensive pass attack in the NFL. So I think Matthew Stafford's going to have a field day today. All right, next up, we got a few more games here. The Sunday night game, and then we got the Monday night game coming up. And the games have started right now, so we definitely appreciate you guys for sticking with us here while the games are just getting started. But you're not missing much in the early parts of these games then anyway, so stay close to us and watch it. All right, here we go. We got the Cardinals and the Rams. All right, we just did that one. Okay, and then there we go. The Cowboys, here we go. Monday night, and the Cowboys and the Chargers. This one is going to be interesting because now we already know the story with the Cowboys, and hey, a lot of people looked at that defense, what they were able to do against terrible teams like the Giants and things like that, and now they got punched in the mouth by the 49ers. That was going to be their test here. This is where we are. How good are you against a good team and a playoff team and maybe a Super Bowl contender, and you got beat, flat out beat out, turnovers by Dak Prescott so much that people are making memes about you to where they're changing their mind about you instantly. It's so funny how the view of the Cowboys goes from either they're great or they're terrible. The bridge is burning. It's like bang, bang, bang. This game now, I think, is that in the middle game now. It's like we've talked about litmus tests. I'm looking to see how they're going to play against this Chargers team here on Monday night. The Chargers team to where their defense has played pretty well as of late, and even Khalil Mack doing all right. But Joey Bosa maybe won't be able to play in this game here, and that could be key for the Cowboys here, against the Chargers here. But this is a test for the Cowboys, I feel, as the Chargers are like an in-the-middle team. I feel like they could have been a playoff team, but they're not hitting on all cylinders right now. So they're kind of in the middle. So I'm wondering how the Cowboys can contend against this Chargers team.
Yeah, I mean, for the Cowboys, can we just finally say this? Even though that in the beginning of the year, there was so much hype, there was so much praise for this Cowboys team. Mike McCarthy this, Mike McCarthy that. He's taking the offense back over. Dak, with the emergence of Tony Pollard, now he's going to start, and you have CeeDee Lamb and all this, and then how great they claimed this defense was, how amazing this defense was. I don't care if Trevon Diggs is not around right now, but I'm going to say this. They are who we thought they were, the Cowboys. We did not think that they were one of the best teams in the NFL, and we still don't think that, obviously. Going against the Chargers, this is not only, like you said, Jim, this is a test for them because this is a game where it can go either way. This is a game that you're expected to win, and both teams are actually expected to win. Depends on what side of the fan base you are. But for the Cowboys, where's the offense? They're struggling to score points. Defensively, as of late, they're struggling to get to the quarterback. Micah Parsons has been double teamed almost as much as Max Crosby. And it's working. Like, where's DeMarcus Lawrence? Where's this other Pro Bowl-esque D end? Where has he been? Even man-to-man, blocking schemes, he's not a factor. So I think you got to see more from DeMarcus. It can't just be Parsons, and that's for the Cowboys right now. And for the Chargers, this is a team where coming into the year, we're like, well, this is that team that always gets hurt. They always get banged up. They always are missing people. Joey Bosa is one of those guys, always hurt. For them, the challenge right there is protection. Just like do exactly what the Cowboys couldn't do. Protect your quarterback. You know what I mean? Double team Micah Parsons if you have to, because you're probably definitely going to have to do that. But be creative. And this is the first week that Austin Eckler is returning back from injury. So look for that to kind of open up this offense as well, not only with his rushing, but also being able to receive out of the backfield. So Justin Herbert having a stellar year at quarterback. This offense, if they're able to get an early lead, I feel like that's going to be doom and gloom for the Cowboys. And the Chargers defense, I still feel like it needs to step up. It's not where we thought they would be up to this point in the season. Thought they would be a higher caliber defense, and they're not there yet. So despite trading away J.C. Jackson, despite Joey Bosa not even being there, let's see what they can do defensively against this Cowboys team too. I'm going with the Chargers in this one at home.
All right. Yeah, Vegas and DraftKings has what?
I'm sorry. I say home very loosely. I mean, it's going to be Dallas Cowboys home.
Fans are going to go crazy. Yeah.
It's going to be Dallas home.
Yeah, you know what? I think that's what's terrible. And that's what's tough with those Chargers games because Justin Herbert, I think, has to deal with the most pressure at all times because he's constantly got to be like, all right, man, we can't hear. We're going to go silent count, even though we're at home. We're going to go silent count when we're at this place and this place because there's going to be so many Dallas Cowboys fans all over in that stadium. It's going to be crazy, you know. So, but it's going to be tough. Like you said, you know, they are pretty well balanced here. You know, DraftKings has Vegas or as the Cowboys winning 26-25, I think. So they think it's going to be close, but then the Dallas Cowboys get it in the end. Dallas has a lot of injuries, though, here, too, that all game time decisions. A lot of people questionable. And Tony Pollard, one of them, Turpin, you know, Smith, you know, on the offense. So if they have some of those injuries at offensive line like they're having, and then also Malik Hooker and some guys in the secondary and the defense, that could be a problem for them, you know. So I think it'll be a close game. I think I just like the Chargers' chances in this one. But again, Brandon Staley, if you keep gambling here, the Cowboys will nab you if you try and go for it in the red zone here, or you know, with your back against the wall here, because they will make you pay for it. But I think also just the way the offense is set up here for the Chargers, I think plays into the way Mike McCarthy and they're going to play, you know, in this game. So I think I like the Chargers overall in this one. All right, so there you go. There's our preview of everything. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. Thank you so much for viewing. It's our first time around for this, so we're going to make it better as we go. I'm glad you guys like the ticker down there. We'll add some more stuff down there as well. We appreciate the comments out there, and thank you so much for watching. And we'll see you guys next time. And check us out. Tell everybody about our show again. You know, let's plug the show one more time.
Thanks for our debut morning show on Sundays. Unfortunately,
a little more awake.
We started a little late, to say the least. But hey, thanks everybody that have shown up. Thanks so much. Listen, if you want to further support us, it'd be much appreciated. Please do so. Head over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button there to, and also hit that notification bell, let you guys know when we go live. You can also follow us anywhere you get your iTunes. And by the way, you are all now officially know-it-alls.
All right. Thanks so much. And we'll see you guys next time.